surrounded by wrestling fans. Not sports entertainment fans. Professional wrestling fans! Professional wrestling! This is it! This is us standing up! This is
the Wrestling Matters Podcast, a podcast that stands up for professional wrestling. Why? Because wrestling matters. So join the revolution, because the revolution is now. Ladies, gentlemen, I would say boys and girls, but I'm pretty sure boys and girls don't listen to podcasts or this kind of way, but if they do, welcome anyway. My name is Anthony Walker, that's right, the H, the E to the A to the D, and I'm back with another episode of the Wrestling Matters Podcast. Hope you're all having a good week. Hope everything is good where you live and in your area. Busy week in wrestling. We're going to go with Raw, as always. SmackDown, TNA, NXT. Unstoppable was this week. TakeOver. I will review that and give my thoughts on that later on. And also Ring of Honor. And more news on the ICW podcast, which is coming tomorrow, which is London, in fact. The London show. So be sure to check that out. It comes up Tuesday. More on that later, though. I want to kick off this week because I have an announcement to make, but I want to talk about something. I feel the need to talk about something, and I heard this past week that there is rumours flying around and everything's being flown about it, that TNA are in trouble again. Now, there's rumours flying around that TNA is being cancelled from Destination America. Just when you think that TNA goes through these changes from 2014, all the financial problems they had, leaving TNN and everything, looking for a new network, then the shining light comes in. Destination America comes in to play. And now, it all started in January, and it seems 4 to 5 months down the road, we are now in May, and it seems they've been cancelled. Oh my god, just when things couldn't get any worse for TNA. Just when you think they're going in the right direction, they're going down paths. Been there, done that before road. I mean, Jesus Christ, guys. It seems that, at least from what I read and what I heard, it seems that the ratings were good, but apparently weren't good enough for the Destination America network. Whoever's running the ship right now, Dixie, you need to get a grip, and seriously, and find someone that's willing to have you and not mess you about. What Destination America, I mean, you're not partly to blame for this. Yes, you're having trouble finding advertisers and marketing and whatever the fuck. Destination America have a responsibility in this as well. Because if they're going to do this, they should have done at least maybe 1 to 2 months, a 2 months trial with you, okay? Instead of waiting 4 to 5 months, I mean, it just really hurts my brain. And is it Billy Corgan of the Smashing Pumpkins has joined TNA, and apparently TNA, like I said in last week's podcast with the altered angle, shout out to you guys, by the way, it seems that they're moving to Wednesdays. I mean, look, I don't want to see TNA go out of business, but something tells me that they're on the verge of, unless they get their heads together and find some stability there on a network, some stability with whoever's running the place. Dixie, I mean, get a fucking grip. Because if you don't, by the end of the year, you guys will be out of business. I don't want to see you guys out of business, but it seems pretty much at the rate you're going to be out of business. All the wrestling fans are asking, TNA wrestling fans in general, even though I don't speak for them, but while I'm pretty sure they would agree with me on this, find some stability. Please, do it quick. Because if you're not going to be lasting very long. I mean, I tried to think what's going to happen. I mean, Jesus, it really hurts my brain. It really does. Especially when Destination America, I mean, apparently the ratings were good, but they weren't good enough for the Destination America. Seriously, if there's anybody listening to this podcast and knows the Destination America, the Destination America ratings thing, or can get a hold of that, please send it to me. Email me at THE_HEAD316@hotmail.com, because I want to know what ratings are good enough for that network. The ratings are good, but not good enough. I mean, what they're aiming for, 2s and 3s? Because let's face it, TNA are nowhere near doing that kind of rate. numbers, 2s and 3s in ratings. That's WWE level, that. No way they're doing that. And if there is, I want to see proof. But please, find some stability, TNA, otherwise you're not going to last. And for God's sake, find a network that's not going to piss you guys about, and do it quick. Also, ladies and gentlemen, to positive notes, Wrestling Matters Podcast has an affiliate. That's right, OSWtv, Only Scottish Wrestling. Now, shout out to Billy Strachan for mailing me during the week on the Wrestling Matters Podcast Facebook page, facebook.com/WM Podcast, by the way, and offering me this opportunity. And I greatly, greatly appreciate it. And he said it in general for shout-outs, the odd shout-out or two. So there you are, guy. There you are, Billy. Shout out for you, my friend. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Be sure to check out, I will leave the link in the description. Be sure to check out Billy on Twitter as well. Facebook.com, bear with me. Facebook.com/OSWtv as well. Be sure to check that out. And Twitter.com/Voice of OSW as well. And I'm sure there's an OSW link there as well. Be sure to check all that out. It is our new affiliate partners. We've joined forces, ladies and gentlemen, and I would probably think, at least from my perspective, we've joined forces to, together and everything because of my ICW podcast that I'm doing on Tuesdays now, because they cover Scottish wrestling. OSW is only Scottish wrestling, so I believe they liked what I was doing and everything. But hey, either way, I greatly appreciate it, the opportunity. And now you can not only check us out on YouTube.com, SoundCloud, and iTunes and other podcasts out there. You can also check us now on OSWtv, which is oswtv.co.uk. So be sure to check that out. You can't miss it. Just look on the lines at the top and it'll say Wrestling Matters. That's me. That's my link. So be sure to check that out and show the guys some love, and hell, give feedback as well. So it is really, really cool. Really, really cool prospect, and I like what I see so far. And the fact that the Wrestling Matters podcast is on there, man, I mean, it's a start, man. It really is a start. SoundCloud, my SoundCloud stuff's on there. It's been tweeted 5 times, shared 8 times according to the numbers on there. I love it, man. I really do. And like I say, it's a start. So be sure to check that out and show it some love. And there you go, Billy. You wanted a shout out? I'll be more than happy to do that each and every week. So go and show some love to the affiliates of the Wrestling Matters podcast, OSWtv. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'll take a quick break and voice my mouth off a little bit. I've got a little bit of a sore throat here, so I'll take a little quick rest, and I'll be back after this with Raw main talking points. So stay tuned. If you like the Wrestling Matters podcast, why not check out the Wrestling Matters podcast Facebook fan page at www.facebook.com/WM podcast. Wrestling Matters, wrestling fans. If you're a fan of the Wrestling Matters podcast, be sure to check out the Wrestling Matters podcast Twitter page at WM podcast for news, reviews, and upcoming episodes, and you will be let know on various other topics as well in the world of professional wrestling. So if you like the Wrestling Matters podcast, be sure to follow the Wrestling Matters podcast on Twitter at WM Podcast. Wrestling Matters, wrestling fans.
I see no! 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 I see no!
Be sure to tune in every single Tuesday now for the Wrestling Matters Podcast Extra, where I'll be hosting a podcast on one promotion and one promotion only. ICW, Insane Championship Wrestling, the hottest promotion in Scotland. Well, I'll be reviewing their shows.
Oh my God!
Talking ICW.
That's 13-14!
And who knows, maybe getting some guests on. So be sure to tune in to the Wrestling Matters Podcast Extra ICW podcast, Insane Championship Wrestling, every Tuesday on YouTube, Podomatic, Stitcher Radio, downloaded free at iTunes, Mixcloud, and SoundCloud. Wrestling Matters, wrestling fans.
World, look into my eyes. When you see me on a show, when you see these fans, you know you've got the best in the damn world. We are ICW and you're gonna know our name. Here we fucking go!
Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Wrestling Matters Podcast, and without further ado, we won't waste no time. Let's get right into it. Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw kicked off this week with the Authority. Yes, Triple H and Stephanie, Mama and Daddy, came home. And they came out, Mama's home, with Triple H having inserted himself into the Authority's BS last week, you could say. Stephanie McMahon didn't waste any time returning to the King of Kings side after a lengthy trip to Singapore. She returned to Raw, $1 million smile on display, to help face Seth Rollins for his successful defense of the World Heavyweight Championship at Payback. Of course, she couldn't risk a chance to run down Daniel Bryan one more time, the bitch, showcasing the beard vacant Intercontinental Championship while hyping the Elimination Chamber match before the Intercontinental title May 31st at the Chamber, which will be very, very interesting indeed. Two potential competitors for the title made themselves known almost instantly. Sheamus, who clobbered Bryan in the Yes Man's final singles match before his injury, and Ryback, who stood up for the absent fan favourite. The Human Wrecking Ball brazenly told the Celtic Warrior he looked stupid, successfully stopped Stephanie's mid-sentence, and for his grand finale dared Sheamus to pick on someone his own size. And to top it off, both of them were confirmed as contestants in the Elimination Chamber. To quote a certain someone, yes, yes, yes. And more importantly with that, Triple H ended up putting them in a one-on-one match. Good thing Ryback's outlook on life is positive, because the big guy's woes continued into the second night on Raw. Hungry for a comeback win after falling to Bray Wyatt at the Payback pay-per-view, the Human Wrecking Ball had half a mind to turn a jaw-jacking Sheamus into shepherd's pie. Wow. What Ryback got instead was his second disappointing defeat in as many nights, thanks to a hard-hitting strategy from the Celtic Warrior that focused on the big guy's ribs. Ryback's animal strength and mental toughness kept him in the game longer than Sheamus likely expected. He muscled his way out of the beats move that he does on the ropes when he leans his opponent back on the ropes, and gorilla pressed Sheamus onto the commentator's table. But the Celtic saved his wisest move for last. It's not easy to say. He clobbered Ryback in the ribs when he was airborne for shell-shocked, raked his eye injury, then bro kicked him, and the big guy lost the match. Going to be really, really interesting what happens at the Chamber in the Intercontinental title match, which is going to be very interesting, because usually you get the world titles on the line in the Chamber. Not this time around. Apparently it's going to be the Intercontinental Championship, and also I think the tag titles are going to be on the line too, which is unique in its own right. Anyway, King Barrett defeated Adrian Neville, rematch from the Payback pay-per-view. Rusev dismissed Lana, something that we were all expected, and he was pissed off at Lana for what she did at the Payback pay-per-view. Dean Ambrose cares not for your social nicest or any impending threats to a person. First, the Lunatic Fringe, a hair away from the World Heavyweight title last night. By the way, mouthed off to and in battle came backstage and demanded another title match. Then he also more or less shrugged off the idea of facing an opponent handpicked by the Devil's favourite demon, who turned out to be Bray Wyatt. You'd think fighting the Eater of Worlds, who's long had Ambrose's number, would be a worrying proposition for the former United States champion, but Ambrose went at Wyatt from the gusto of a true number one contender. Wyatt ultimately won the match, though he sort of owes J&J security for that one after they bum-rushed the Lunatic Fringe and shoved him off his elbow drop perch straight into the Sister Abigail from the self-proclaimed new face of fear. Cesaro and Tyson Kidd defeat the New Day for the tag by disqualification. Hopefully these guys will get another shot at the tag titles. Although it was told that, granted they did it because Big E and Kofi stomped Kidd in the corner until the ref called off the match, but even with Woods arrival to tilt the odds, I should say, in their favour, the New Day got their comeuppance moments later. The Lucha Dragons, Los Matadores, the Ascension, and the Pride Templates arrived to kick off a 13-man melee that ended with the PTP standing tall, at least for another 2 weeks. NXT Champion confronts John Cena. John Cena said on Raw the place to be for his new US Open Challenge. but no one expected to see the champ wind up nose-to-nose confrontation with the reigning NXT champion Kevin Owens. Having a title match of his own at the NXT Takeover Unstoppable, Owens wasn't in the mood to challenge for another, instead deciding to make his Twitter handle and fight. He did a dirty to cheap-shotting Cena after a lengthy war of words, polarizing the champ with his pop-up powerbomb, placing his foot on the throne of the US champion of the US title, and hosting the NXT title high in the air. Now that's a takeover, and that also leads to a one-on-one match between Kevin Owens and John Cena at the Elimination Chamber. Dolph Ziggler beats Stardust, and then after that match he gets called in and says he is the last guy to take the vacant last spot to go in the chamber for the Intercontinental Championship. But that wasn't the story. Lana came down to the ring and planted one right on the Ziggs man. Rusev wasn't particularly pleased, despite having given Lana the heave-ho an hour earlier, but the super athlete ended up with egg on his face when Lana slapped him across the cheek and Ziggler hits zigzag on the big Russian Bulgarian monster, or whatever the fuck he is. The Wyatt family being Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, beat Fandango and Zack Ryder, basically squashed them. Divas champion Nikki Bella beats Naomi by DQ. Paige returned in that one as well to get a piece of Naomi. And then we come down to what happened in the last bit. With Randy Orton noticeable by his absence, Dean Ambrose dispatched by Bray Wyatt, and Roman Reigns out of his hair until SmackDown, Seth Rollins had plenty to celebrate during his somewhat alone spell. That said, Ambrose wanted a World Heavyweight Championship match, and a title match he was going to get. After denied earlier in the night, the Lunatic Fringe crashed the party and asked once again for a championship bout, and it took a convincingly placed pile of cinder blocks and a steel chair to convince the Authority to give him what he wanted. Rollins ultimately was the one who got the last laugh, for the time being at least. However, dispatching Ambrose with a pedigree after the Authority temporarily overwhelmed the Lunatic Fringe, aggressive negotiating at its best WWE Universe. A lot to read there in that one, but it's going to be the World Heavyweight Champion Dean Ambrose challenging the World Champion, Seth Rollins at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Wow, too many pay-per-views. Anyway, that is the end of the Raw main points. Now we'll switch, and we won't waste any time. Let's go to SmackDown as well. So, Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose discuss the future. That's what kicked off the SmackDown show. In SmackDown's opening moments, after Roman Reigns announced his intention to enter the Money in the Bank ladder match on June 14th, his brother-in-arms, Dean Ambrose, emerged to add that he would already be the World Heavyweight Champion at that point. He was, of course, referring to his world title match against Seth Rollins at WWE Elimination Chamber, May 31st. For the members of the WWE Universe watching in the United States, the only way you will be able to watch the Elimination Chamber event next Sunday is on the WWE Network. As the big dog pleaded with the Lunatic Fringe to make sure he has an exit strategy, Director of Operations Kane interrupted. He swiftly denied Reigns his Money in the Bank spot, responded to Ambrose digs by putting him in the main event rematch with Bray Wyatt, and gave Reigns the night off to reflect on his failures. Reigns responded by warning that he would watch the show very closely to make sure everything the corporate demon did would be best for business. The Lucha Dragons defeat Tyson Kidd, Ascension, and Los Matadores. Dolph Ziggler beats King Barrett. Capitalizing on a pair of King Barrett's missed Royal Bullhammers, Dolph Ziggler caused the Monarch to fall with the zigzag. Then, as the dust was settling, Lana emerged to applaud the victorious show-off. What will happen when the bleach blonde superstar is stuck inside a chamber with the irate Rusev to compete for the Intercontinental Championship? Guess we'll find out at the pay-per-view. Divas got nasty on SmackDown. What started as Paige addressing the WWE Universe during the Best Show on Thursday night soon transformed into a vicious war of words between the Diva of Tomorrow and her adversary Naomi and Tamia. When emerging pair decided to clean house, things turned physical with a 2-on-1 attack. Divas champion Nikki Bella rushed the ring to join the fight. In addition to going after the aggressors, she also attacked Paige with the rack attack of pure raw retribution. Later it was announced that the Divas champion will defend her title against Paige and Naomi in the triple threat match at the Elimination Chamber. R-Truth, God almighty, how many times are we going to see this match? R-Truth beats Stardust. Mega Powers defeat, and I don't mean Hogan and Macho Man, God rest their souls. Well, God rest Macho Man's soul and all that. Mega Powers, and I use that term loosely, defeat Adam Rose and Heath Slater. God, somebody kill me. Dean Ambrose and Bray Wyatt. Now, though Kane's earlier intention to punish Dean Ambrose by putting him in SmackDown's main event against Bray Wyatt, it seemed that was exactly the fight Lunatic Fringe hoped for. But in the height of the chaotic battle that followed, the World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins and J&J Security emerged to try and tip the scales against the one-time Shield cohort. Roman Reigns quickly countered their entrance, though. The big dog took out both Jamie Noble and Joey Mercury before delivering a thunderous Superman punch to the new face of Fear. The punch, though, threw Wyatt backward into Dean Ambrose waiting Dirty Deeds for his SmackDown defeat. What will happen on Raw? Tune in tonight to find out. And with that being said, that is the end of the SmackDown main talking points. Now, considering what I said earlier on about TNA, guys, it seems that TNA wasn't on this week. But it'll be on next week with May Mayhem. And apparently that's headlined by an I Quit match between Eric Young and Kurt Angle. But it seemed that it wasn't on this week, and they played Slammiversary from 2014. Whether it's a build-up to Slammiversary coming up in June, I don't know, probably was. But we all know what the unfortunate situation is with TNA at the moment. There's rumours going around, there's false rumours, according to Dixie, or according to TNA statement, that TNA is no longer on Destination America, or will no longer be on Destination America in a couple of months. So what the future holds for TNA, I don't know. But TNA will be back, and I will review and talk about the show upcoming next Friday, the May Mayhem show, which is, again, like I say, headlined by Eric Young and Kurt Angle. So that'll be next week. But until then, guys, I will be back after this with the Ring of Honor review. So, new episode of the Wrestling Matters podcast, as well as other great professional wrestling-related content. Be sure to check out the Wrestling Matters channel on YouTube at www.youtube.com/AJW Wrestling Matters. You'll get weekly episodes of the podcast, and you'll get other great wrestling content as well. Be sure to check it out, subscribe, like, and do all that good stuff. The Wrestling Matters channel, where wrestling matters, on YouTube.
Be sure to listen to the Sunday Segway Wrestling Podcast.
What?
Every Sunday with Kenny Killer and the Galdem Sugar Shugs.
Yes!
With all the news, views, and laughter that you want.
They like jet airplanes. They like long limousines.
Every Sunday, the Sunday Segway Wrestling Podcast on Podomatic, iTunes, and YouTube.
So why don't you choke on that, slap nut?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Wrestling Matters podcast, and without further ado, we'll go right into it. Ring of Honor Road Rage. Now, I watched this on the website. It's free for those of you who are not a member of the website, of the Ring of Honor website, at ROHWrestling.com. And Ring of Honor started off this week with Adam Page versus ACH. Now, these two met last time, but the last time these met on the Ring of Honor television show, BJ Whitmer was involved. Wasn't the case this time around. ACH shakes the hands of the fans. That was his code of honor. Instead of shaking Adam Page's hands, he shook the hands of the fans. Page refusing to wrestle, playing mind games to start off. Quick pace stuff ends with an ACH dropkick. Both men go toe-to-toe on the outside. ACH takes control of the match. ACH runs around the ringside comes back, uses the ring post to do a 619 move, but turns it into a head scissors takeover. Just simply amazing. He runs all the way around the ring. He goes to the ring post, uses it like a 619 move, like if you're going to do a 619 move, but manages to grab the head and then head scissors takes over. You have to see it to believe it. It was just amazing. Paige ties up ACH in the ring apron cover and beats him down. Uses that ACH to mistake, and Paige takes advantage. Adam Page. Paige in total control, controlling ACH as Ring of Honor goes to break. Back from the break, Paige takes advantage of a mistake by ACH and gets a near fall. Power slam, Paige gets a near fall. Chop fest till Paige seeks control, then both hit a crossbody and hit hard. Toe to toe in the middle of the ring, ACH gets the better and starts a fight back, hard hitting, lots of kicks, then one to the face. Hard clothesline, only a near fall for ACH. Version of a mic check gets ACH a near fall. Paige hits a DDT and spikes, and I mean spikes ACH, but gets a near fall. Slingshot clothesline gets a near fall for Paige. ROH goes to break. Back from the break, battling for control, both men end up outside. Running shooting star press from the apron on ACH outside, back in the ring. Paige hits a backbreaker and gets a near fall. ACH hits stomp away from the top rope and gets a near fall. ACH misses the 450. Paige grabs the referee, hits a low blow on ACH and gets the win. Basically stole one. Paige actually just stole one. He grabs out of the referee, and as ACH tries to grab him and trying to go for a suplex, low blow, mule kick. And like I say, Paige gets the win. ACH gets mad once Paige wants the code of honor. ACH takes the fight to Paige and gets a little payback. Just when ACH seems to have calmed down, he does the high jump dive over the top rope and takes out the security. And I say takes out the security because Paige managed to get away. Unbelievable. I can tell you right now, that ain't over. Video players over in The Addiction are revealed as members of the KRD, and they join forces with Chris Sabin. Briscoe's promo saying they plan to finish the business with the War Machine tonight. That was from the last time these two teams met on Ring of Honor television, which basically got thrown out, and let's just say it was a fight. And speaking of the match, the tag team main event is now, which was the War Machine versus the Briscoes. And also it was announced that the Ring of Honor World Television Championship will be defended on next week's episode, with Kyle O'Reilly going one-on-one with Jay Lethal. So be sure to check that out. Feeling out process though to start the tag match ended quickly with a hard-hitting right hand by Hansen. Power advantage with War Machine. Briscoe's fighting back. Hard boots to Rowe face. Chop fest between Rowe and Mark in the corner. War Machine in control of the Briscoes. Great double team wrestling. Mark Briscoe in a lot of trouble. War Machine in total control. Shotgun knees from Rowe. Hansen gets a near fall. War Machine in advantage total control of Mark Briscoe, getting a near fall. World Champion gets tagged in. Jay starts to isolate Rowe. Briscoe's now in control of Rowe. Rowe fighting back. Mark maintains control though. Briscoe's in control as ROH goes to break. Back from the break, Briscoe's still in control. Hansen and Jay tagged in. Advantage War Machine. Hansen with the hard-hitting, clobbering blows while Jay is laid across the top rope in the corner. Jay goes for the finisher, the J-Jaw, takes a Superman forearm. Mark hits a mule kick in the corner. Counter for counter. Both teams stand off. Both teams go at it toe-to-toe in the middle of the ring. It just turned into an all-out fight. Both teams basically just went and just said, the hell with it, let's just fight, sod it. And it's just a fist fight in the middle of the ring, all out brawl. Jay takes out Hansen. Mark gets backdropped outside. Jay throws jabs, takes the fight to Rowe. Rowe fights back. War Machine look for fallout. Mark pushes Hansen off the top rope. Briscoes look for the Doomsday device. Hansen retaliates and returns the favor. War Machine hit a double chokeslam on the world champion, getting near fall. Hansen hits a Bronco Buster like move. Doesn't go for like the full Bronco Buster like X-Pac used to do, but he hits one anyway. Jay catches Mark in midair. And powerbombs him to the mat. Mark was going to jump off the ropes, but Hansen catches him in midair and just drops him to the mat. And then powerbombs Rowe on Mark. Gets his tag partner and just basically powerbombs him, driving Rowe right into Mark, back first and everything. It was just unbelievable. War Machine set up for fall out. Jay gets out. Briscoes hit Doomsday Device on Raw. Mark hits a running blockbuster off the apron, taking out Raw on the outside. Unbelievable. Hanson goes for a suplex. Jay hits Dre Driller and Hanson kicks out, much to the world champion's dismay. And then Jay hits another Dre Driller and gets the win for the team. The Briscoes win it, and both teams shake hands at the end. Once again, a great ROH show, and I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 for me. Be interested to see what happens next week in the TV title match. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the Ring of Honor review. Hope you enjoyed that, and stay tuned, because after the break, for the final part of the Wrestling Matters podcast, I'm going to be reviewing NXT TakeOver Unstoppable. So stay tuned. And it was a very interesting show, so I'll be back after this.
Be sure to listen to the Sunday Segway Wrestling Podcast.
What?
Every Sunday with Kenny Killer and the Galdem Sugar Shubs.
Yes!
With all the news, views, and laughter that you want.
They like jet airplanes. Woo! They like long limousines.
Every Sunday, the Sunday Segway Wrestling Podcast on Podomatic, iTunes, and YouTube.
So why don't you choke on that, slap nut?
Be sure to tune in every single Tuesday now for the Wrestling Matters Podcast Extra, where I'll be hosting a podcast on one promotion and one promotion only. ICW, Insane Championship Wrestling, the hottest promotion in Scotland. Well, I'll be reviewing their shows. Oh my God! Talking ICW.
That's 13-14!
And who knows, maybe getting some guests on. So be sure to tune in to the Wrestling Matters Podcast Extra ICW podcast, Insane Championship Wrestling, every Tuesday on YouTube, Podomatic, Stitcher Radio, downloaded free at iTunes, Mixcloud, and SoundCloud. Wrestling Matters, wrestling fans.
World, look into my eyes. When you see me on a show, when you see these fans, you know you've got the best in the damn world. We are ICW and you're gonna know our name. Here we fucking go!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the final part of the Wrestling Matters podcast. Hope you've enjoyed the show. Now we're going to get on with the main event of the whole week, so to speak. NXT TakeOver. That's right. Managed to get to watch it over the weekend, and it was pretty good. And it kicked off with a number one contenders match for the NXT Championship. Now, it was supposed to be a triple threat match between Tyler Breeze, Finn Balor, and one Hideo Itami. But Hideo got jumped in the parking lot on the pre-show. It showed footage of a member of the NXT universe photographing Hideo being injured. So, with him out the picture, looking, and it ended up being a torn shoulder, rotated cup. It ended up being 1-on-1. Tyler Breeze 1-on-1 with Finn Balor. Quick cover for Finn to kick off. Wrestling to start, quick covers from both men. Breeze trying to control grounding Finn, slowing him down. Breeze hits a springboard dropkick. Chris Jericho likes springboard dropkick. Sends Finn outside, advantage Tyler. Breeze hits a neckbreak and gets a near fall. Breeze hits total control. I'll say that again. Breeze in total control, slowing down Balor. Finn mounting a fight back, hits a double stomp from the apron while Breeze is on the outside. Balor taking the fight to Tyler Breeze. Balor gets a near fall, hits swing blade. I believe that's what the name of that move is. If that is wrong, I apologize. Goes for a running drop kick in the corner and runs right into a super kick. Tyler gets a near fall. Tyler takes turnbuckle pad off, takes the fight to Balor. Breeze misses a beauty shot. Balor misses the foot stomp. Breeze rolls up and gets a near fall. Tyler hits beauty shot, gets a near fall, and then Tyler has a fit because he thought you put him away with the beauty shot, which is a spinning heel kick. Balor hits a forearm outside. Balor dives off the entrance tron on the outside, as Tyler was walking back up the ramp, or back up the aisle, brings the fight back into the ring, hits the drop kick in the corner, the 2-footed drop kick in the corner on Tyler, sending Tyler back into the corner, and then hits the double stomp from the top rope to get the win. And whoever won the NXT Championship, or whoever was the NXT Champion, would have to deal with Finn Balor. A video plays hyping up the NXT live shows and how good they were in that. And then the next match, which saw it was a Divas tag match, actually, a women's tag match involving Dana Brooke and one Emma, the Australian Pied Piper of Flowing Bubbles, going in a tag team match against Charlotte and Bayley. I swear Bayley with that entrance music, man. They should bring Grado in. Erin Grado would be a freaking great tag team, I tell you. Imagine the dancing and shit. But anyway, double team on Dana, tags in and out. Dana tags in Emma. Emma hiding behind Dana, sorry. Bayley takes a detour, baseball side through the bottom turnbuckle, takes out Emma while she was on the outside. It was kind of like what Sami Zayn would do when he does that DDT thing. Beautiful. Bayley mistake, Emma gets a near fall. Emma in total control. Dana and Emma show quick tags in and out. Bayley in a lot of trouble. Emma might sandwich, gets a near fall for Emma. Bayley in trouble. Bayley hits a suplex and tags Charlotte. Fight back is on. Dana and Emma look to double team Charlotte, but Charlotte hits a double DDT and gets a near fall. Emma hits a crossbody. Charlotte rolls through, slaps on the figure 4, turns it into a figure 4-8, which is the same figure 4, but she does like a spider thing, like something that Bray Wyatt would do, and apparently that's extra painful, and it probably is. It's twice as painful as her daddy's figure 4. Dana breaks it up. Bayley hits a belly to belly suplex, and Dana on Dana. Then Charlotte hits natural selection, and Emma bows down to the Queen because Charlotte and Bayley get the win thanks to Charlotte pinning Emma. And they celebrate by doing the fly strut and all that after the match. It was a pretty good tag match, that. And that move from Charlotte is actually great, the front flip thing. She calls it natural selection. I call it, well, technically it is natural selection, but I believe one time she used to call it bow down to the Queen. So, anyway, as far as I'm concerned, she is the queen of the women's division, despite Sasha, being the women's champion. More on Sasha later on. Advantage Rhino versus Baron Corbin. Now, Advantage Rhino early on, fight outside. Corbin knocks Rhino outside again. Corbin taking the fight to Rhino outside, throws him back in the ring. Corbin taking the offense to Rhino. Rhino fights back. Corbin, it was just a fight the whole match, by the way. Corbin seems to have the power advantage, maybe size, I don't know. Because it was times where Rhino would get Corbin in the corner and then Rhino would just come out, Baron would just come out and just grab hold of Rhino, just shot him back in the corner. I would think it would be more size advantage looking back on it, but it was what it was. Rhino leans across the bottom rope and Baron just punches his lights out. Baron slowing down Rhino, toe to toe. Rhino gets the advantage, mounts a fight back. Spine buster by Rhino gets a near fall. Rhino goes for the goal. Baron clotheslines the hell out of him, then hits End of Days and gets a big, huge win over the veteran. And video plays of what happened, and after that, the video plays. They show a video of what happened with Kevin Owens and John Cena, leading into what is going to be a match at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view involving John Cena and Kevin Owens, which is going to be very interesting indeed. Now, after that, Kevin's backstage saying that he's had a hell of a week, and that it'll all lead to takeover, and he'll finish what he started with Sami Zayn. Now after that, it's tag title time. That's right, tag titles. NXT Tag Team Championships. Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy get their title shot against Blake and Murphy. Now, I don't know about you, but I respect Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy. I'm a big fan of Colin, big motherfucker. But this fucking entrance thing that Enzo does, I'm Enzo Amore, and you can't teach that. It drives me insane. It really does. I can't get into it. I really don't like it. I respect the tag team. I respect Colin a great deal. Big fan of Colin Cassidy. Like I say, he's a big motherfucker. But that entrance they do, it's just the intro and all that, it just really doesn't work for me. Anyway, to the tag team match. Enzo starts and proves to be too quick for Blake, and gets hold of him, looking to tag in Cass Champs looked to keep Enzo in the corner, did not work. Cass gets tagged in. Murphy taking the fight to Cass, hitting chops, did not work. It's very difficult to chop a big man, someone the size of Colin, because he didn't have no effect. And Colin uses his power, hits a big right hand and gets a near fall. Double team by the challengers. Enzo gets a near fall off a crossbody. Champs manage to get control with the numbers game to their favour and get a near fall also. Champs double team Enzo, slowing him down. Murphy makes a mistake, but Blake stops him tagging Cass and right back in control for the champions. Double team backcracker, powerbomb combo, gets a near fall for the champions in control of Enzo Amore. Mr. Amore is in trouble. Enzo, however, manages to hit a DDT off the second rope, spiking, I believe it was Murphy, gives him space to tag in Cass. The fight back is on. Cass, using his speed, agility, and power, too quick, and he was also too quick for the champions. As Cass gets ready to throw Enzo off into some sort of like splash move, on the outside, Alexia Bliss comes out and attacks Carmella. Cass goes to check on Carmella, but takes a super kick. Alexia Bliss comes in as Enzo's on the top rope. Alexia grabs the leg of Enzo, knocks him off the apron, knocks him off the ropes rather, and Murphy covers him and the champions retain. So what's the deal with Alexia and the champions? We'll have to wait and see. Maybe Alexia is the replacement for Carmella. Anyway, moving swiftly on to one of the highlights of the evening for me, and a match that quite frankly in my opinion stole the whole show. Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks for the NXT Championship, the women's title. Quick covers by both women to start off, and Becky looks to work on the champ's arm. New takedown moves from Becky, variation of takedown moves that have never been done before, I've never seen before, which was pretty cool to see. Just very unique ways from Becky taking down Sasha, but hey, they were effective. Becky working on the arm, Sasha fighting back and drives Becky face first on the apron with the arm. Sasha gets a near fall. Sasha looking to work on the arm, gets a near fall. Champion controls, slowing down Becky. All champion then hits a backcracker holding on and stranglehold. I believe they called it the Japanese stranglehold that she used. Excuse me. And she got her up and then used a backcracker while holding on to that move. I believe they called it the Japanese stranglehold, I'm not sure, but it was very effective. Sasha, one step ahead of Becky, fights back. Sasha drives knees to the arm of Becky and gets a near fall. Sasha really stretching the arm of Becky. Sasha game plan is to work on the arm. Banks in total control. Becky showing her power advantage, gets out of the arm bar hold and just drops Sasha, takes her for a ride basically. Becky mounting a fight back. Top rope dropkick gets her a near fall. Double knees to the face gets a near fall for Sasha. Fight on the outside. Becky goes for the arm of the champion. A single arm suplex by Becky hits another suplex and gets a near fall on both occasions. Becky locks in the armbar submission hold, but Sasha breaks it. Sasha dives on Becky outside. Becky catches her and drives Sasha into the steps. Sasha hits a single arm DDT off the top rope as Becky was on the top rope. She jumps up on the ropes, hits the single arm DDT and then turns it into a crossface and makes Becky tap out. Sasha retains. And I want to say this right now, ladies and gentlemen, there is women's wrestling in WWE, but it's on NXT. So if you want good women's wrestling in WWE, NXT is the place to go. Now we go to the main event of the evening, which was headlined by a surprise visit from somebody. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn 2. Bell starts, Kevin goes on the outside, My Games begins. Sami takes the fight to the champion on the outside. Big clothesline sends Owens outside, Sami taking the fight to Owens on the outside. Kevin head first into the steps, outside Sami taking the fight to Owens. It was all, for the first 5 minutes of the match, it was all on the outside. The fight ended up in the crowd. Straight up brawl, Owens backdropped on the floor from the crowd. He goes to attack Sami, Sami ducks, backdrops him from the crowd, all the way back in and lands on the floor, on the mats, which sucks. I don't mind telling you. Where am I? Sami then gets back in the ring and hits a Blue Thunder Bomb, gets a near fall. Single arm Tiger suplex, gets a near fall for Sami. which was a very impressive move. He didn't use he didn't bridge it or anything. He just single-armed him and then rolled him in for a cover. Owens countered a DDT, then misses a cannonball. Sammy T-bones Owens in the corner. Owens gets out the way of the kick. Sammy suplexes Owens on the outside. Fight again goes to the outside. Sammy runs into a pop-up powerbomb. Owen drives Sammy on the apron. It's that pop-up bomb that started this whole thing, quite frankly. The powerbomb on the apron move. Kevin puts a beat down. Ref pull off Kevin. Kevin will not be denied. Match is over at this point. Kevin hitting a vicious beatdown on Sammy. Sammy having trouble with the arm, which he injured during this match was John Cena on Raw. Kevin throws Sammy in the ring. Regal comes in to the ring to calm down Kevin, or at least try to. Kevin goes for Sammy. Regal rakes the eyes, pulling him back with the mouth. He had him like in a mouth hole trying to pull him back, but Kevin manages to turn around and actually headbutts Regal. Owens goes for a chair, looks to use it on Sammy. Music hits, and out walks, of all people, the rumours were true by the way, Samoa Joe. That's right, you heard me correct. Samoa Joe. Unreal moment. Samoa Joe walks down to the ring, goes face to face with Owens. Owens backs away. Joe does it again, and Owens continues to back away and goes backstage. What does that mean? Nothing. Because Owens then comes back out, drops his title. Everybody thought he was going to go back in the ring and go face to face with Joe. He walks back to the apron again and says it on my time. So, will we see Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe for the NXT title at some point? Because he made it clear on the network during the comments as NXT went off the air that he's looking for Kevin Owens and he wants what Kevin Owens got. So we'll have to wait and see. Other than that, 5 out of 5. Absolutely loved it. These big shows, man, they should put these on pay-per-view, quite frankly. But hey, I love it. 5 out of 5 for the NXT show. Now, I'm going to do some quick promotions. Check in tomorrow, guys, for the 5th. I believe it's the 5th installment or the 6th installment of the wrestling podcast that is the ICW podcast. Be sure to check that out. It's the London show, Alex Kidd. That's what they call the show, so be sure to check that out. Headlined by Drew Galloway, Jack Jester and Sabu for the ICW title. So be sure to check that out. That will be on Podomatic, SoundCloud and all that. And also our affiliates. Don't forget our affiliates, ladies and gents. Only Scottish Wrestling TV. Be sure to check them out. Shout out to you guys as well. Like I said, I gave you a shout out earlier on, but I'm shouting you out again. Also, be sure to check out the Wrestling Matters podcast next week and every week. You know the place to be. You know where it's at. Stand up for professional wrestling. Wrestling Matters podcast brings you the best in professional wrestling. And also, guys, it's a couple of months away. We're in May now, but back end of October, like I say, Total Wrestling Teesside is coming to Middlesbrough. I don't know any details on that yet. I'm going to get in touch with the guys at TWT, so I will bring you further information, but you have to listen out to further podcasts, and I will bring you that information of where you can go, when it's going to be, and that, because I don't know where it's going to be. All I know is it's coming to Middlesbrough. Total Wrestling Teesside are coming to Middlesbrough at the back end of October, which is Halloween night. So something to look forward to. Who knows? Maybe your boy, the host of the Wrestling Matters podcast, may be involved in some capacity. Have to wait and see. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, my name is the Hair Anthony Walker. Thank you for tuning in to the 60th episode. 60 episodes of the Wrestling Matters podcast. Jesus Christ. Hope you've enjoyed it. Until next time, normal service will be resumed on TNA Wrestling. Hopefully they'll still be around. My name is Anthony Walker. Be sure to check out the Wrestling Matters channel as well and all that good stuff. And until next time, peace out.